The scope of IR. Let's see what do we mean by scope. According to Oxford Dictionary, the extent of the area or subject matter that something deals with or to which it is relevant. Scope से मुराद एक जो डिसिप्लिन है उसके दायरे अख्तियार में कौन कौन सी चीज़ें आती हैं, उसके दायरे अख्तियार में कौन से मज़ामीन आते हैं, कौन से डोमेन्स आते हैं, कहाँ कहाँ पे आप उसको अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. So all these areas, all these domains in which you can apply international relations, and those areas are also relevant, so they would be called the scope. In the scope, if we begin, the scope of international relations has again a very gradual growth. शुरू में इसका स्कोप बहुत नैरो था. ये हम डेफिनेशन में भी पढ़ चुके हैं कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इट वाज डीलिंग विद द ऑफिशियल रिलेशंस. It was related to diplomatic activities, and then the scope was widening. Let's see how the scope widened with the passage of time. The scope of IR started with diplomatic history. Again, the same as we discussed in international relations definition. Earlier, it includes the activities of the diplomats and the negotiations and the talk, basically the relations at political level, the relations at governmental level. So only this much part was included in the scope of international relations. And international relation was not interested in other type of activities. So this was in the beginning. Then, before I go to the next point, again you can see an image in which you can see the diplomatic relations between the officials, and you can see the ambassadors and the diplomats negotiating. That was basically the initial scope of international relations. Then the study of international law also become a part of international relations. And in studying international relations, we also keep on considering international law, which means international law also became a part and was included in the scope of international relations. Why this was so? Because as there grew conflicts in the world, and with the conflicts also came different types of pacts, different type of treaties. जैसे टेंशन बढ़ती जाती है तो उसके बाद उसका सोल्यूशन भी निकलता है, और सोल्यूशन के नतीजे में मुआहदे जन्म लेते हैं. Therefore, ये जो मुआहदे जन्म लेते हैं और डिफरेंट टाइप्स के एग्रीमेंट्स होते हैं, तो फिर इनको फॉलो करने के लिए भी कुछ प्रिंसिपल्स होते हैं जो कि फिर बाद में इंटरनेशनल लॉ बन जाते हैं. So these pacts and treaties then included in the international relations and also form of international law widened the scope of international relations. Then the study of international organization was also included. Why it was included? Can you think why it was included? Because international organizations deal with different states. And if it deals with different states, it is coming under the domain of international relations. क्योंकि international relations का ताल्लुक ही state से है. तो अगर international organizations हैं जो कि मुख्तलिफ और variety of countries में वो काम करेंगे, तो इसका लाजमी मतलब है कि this would be included in international relations. There is an example of an organization which is called League of Nations. Maybe you have heard the name of League of Nations. It is similar to United Nations because even the name is similar to United Nations, and it was an international organization. Can I ask you in which year this foundation or this organization may have been established? I will give you a clue. When was United Nations founded? United Nations was founded, yes, after World War II. And this organization was before United Nations. So what could be the possibility of its establishment? On the same principle, it should be after World War I. क्योंकि दूसरी जंग अजीम के बाद अगर यूएन बन रही है तो ये जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है ये उससे पहले है. सो दिस मीन्स इट वाज आफ्टर वर्ल्ड वॉर वन. पहले जंग अजीम के बाद बनी होगी. और कल हमने डिस्कस किया था कि पहली जंग अजीम कौन से साल में शुरू हुई? इट स्टार्टेड इन 1914. गुड. And when did the First World War ended? We discussed it yesterday. The First World War was stretched to 4 years. Therefore, the First World War ended in 1918. तो ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन उसके बाद बनी होगी. इसका मुमकिन ईयर कौन सा हो सकता है? आप करीबी हो सकते हैं. It is not 1918, it is 1919. It takes some time to be established. So League of Nations was established in the year 1919 after World War I. And the objective of this organization was to prevent the world from a future war and to establish peace in the world, just like the objective of United Nations. You can see the logo of League of Nations. It was the symbol representing League of Nations that was founded in 1919 to establish and maintain world peace. Can you name some other organizations, some other international organizations, or even regional organizations? I know you know a lot. So let's start. Yes, there is UN, there is OIC, there is Arab League, yes, there is SAARC, there is UNESCO, there is IMF, there is so many. And you can see the name of some others as well. You can also see the symbol of United Nations. That is a world organization and it is striving hard for maintaining world peace. So, as the scope of IR is now widening, it started with diplomatic history, then the study of international law was also included. With the emergence of international organizations, the study of international organization was also included, because they were dealing with the states, they were dealing with so many countries. And then, post-World War II, great changes started coming in the world. Post-World War II, मतलब क्या है इसका? Remember, जब भी post का word आता है, इसका मतलब होता है after. So this means आफ्टर वर्ल्ड वॉर टू, दूसरे जंग अजीम के बाद दुनिया में बहुत तेजी से तब्दीलियां आनी शुरू हुई. देयर वर सो मेनी चेंजेस दैट स्टार्टेड हैपनिंग इन द वर्ल्ड. आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क यू अगेन, व्हाट आर दोस इवेंट्स, व्हाट आर दोस चेंजेस दैट अकर्ड आफ्टर वर्ल्ड वॉर टू? प्लीज थिंक. I will be giving you a clue. एक का ताल्लुक हमसे है. इससे भी आसान उसका ताल्लुक हमारे मुल्क से है. Yes, you get the point. We got independence after World War II. It is a great change for us because we became independent. हमारे अलावा और भी कोई आज़ाद हुआ? जी हाँ, इंडिया आज़ाद हुआ, पाकिस्तान बना, और इसके अलावा बहुत से ममालिक दुनिया में आज़ाद हैसियत से उभरे. So there are many countries that got independence after World War II. It was a great change. And can you see that as these countries are getting independence, the scope of IR is increasing, it is widening, because now these independent states would also interact with one another. They would have relations with one another. And because of these so many states establishing relations and dealing so many matters, so the scope of international relations would be widening. So the events after World War II again increased and widened the scope of international relations. ये तो हमने यही डिस्कस किया कि बहुत से ममालिक आज़ाद हैसियत से दुनिया के नक्शे पे आए. इसके अलावा और कौन से चेंजेस हैं? Again, I would help you that these states that got independence, जिसमें पाकिस्तान है, जिसमें इंडिया है, चाइना है, मलेशिया है, इंडोनेशिया है, अफ्रीकन स्टेट्स बहुत ज़्यादा हैं, तो ये कहाँ से आज़ाद हुए? किन ममालिक से आज़ाद हुए? हाँ, उसमें ब्रिटिश भी आता है, तो यू हैव ब्रिटिश. इसके अलावा और भी काफ़ी स्टेट्स हैं, यूरोपियन स्टेट्स हैं, क्योंकि before World War II, all these, most of the European states, they were controlling and they have colonies in different parts of the world. Mostly the colonies were in Asia and Africa. ये जो यूरोपियन स्टेट्स हैं, जिसमें ब्रिटेन है, जिसमें फ्रांस है, जिसमें जर्मनी है, जिसमें नीदरलैंड है, जिसमें पुर्तगाल है, जिसको पुर्तगाल भी कहते हैं. And these states were controlling and they have established colonies. So if the colonies are getting independence, तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि ये जो यूरोपियन कंट्रीज हैं, so their power is decreasing. Their power has basically declined. उनकी पावर में कमी हो रही है, इसलिए वो अपनी कॉलोनीज को मेंटेन नहीं कर सकते. ये मजबूर हैं कि ये उनको आज़ादी दें, तो इनकी पावर कम हो रही है. Again, it was another very drastic change. After World War II, the Europe power was decreasing. And why was it decreasing? My next question. Sorry, I asked too many questions. So let's learn. So why the power of Europe was decreasing? Yes, because there was World War II. These European countries were involved in World War II. जंगी अजीम यूरोप के वसी इलाके में लड़ी गई. And because these European countries were a party to the war, so after fighting that world war, their power weakened. They were destroyed. They were not economically strong to maintain themselves, and therefore they could not control their colonies. This was the destruction of World War II. So, इसी के साथ, if we just again have a review of these points, so the changes after World War II is that we have the Europe power being declining, the Europe power being decreasing. And why was it? Because of the World War II. Let's see the destruction of the World War II. You can see cities which are without people, full of destruction, full of destroyed buildings, but no people. Where are the people? Here are the people. It's such a pathetic scene. It's such a pitiful. These people are ruthlessly killed. There are women, there are children, there are old people, young people. No distinction. Weapons have killed them all. It was the destruction of World War II. You can only see army, you can only see military men, but where is the nation? Where are the people? So if this was the effect of the World War, how could the European states maintain or control their colonies? They have to come back and make their own nation and make their own country. That was the objective. So because of the Europe getting weak, the colonies start getting independence, and we have discussed why they are getting independence. There is another very great change that occurred after World War II, and that was the emergence of bipolar world. The emergence of bipolar world. What is that? Bi means two, and poles means pointed edges that you can easily see, that are distinguished. So basically they are two corners which are distinguished, and they are opposite of each other because they are poles. The poles are always opposite to each other. So after World War II, the world saw two poles being formed in the earth. What were those two poles? Yes, there were two major powers. One power was United States, US, and the second power is, again I would say, there was US. And can you make the two alphabets turn around? US, so turn it around, it becomes SU. US को आप उल्टा पढ़ें तो बन जाता है SU. तो ये दूसरी कंट्री है. One was called United States, second was called Soviet Union, जिसको USSR भी कहा करते थे. So US and SU, and they appeared as the major powers in the world. And because they assumed that major powers, because they were the victorious states after World War II, and they were not very much hit by the World War II, and they have all the resources to control. Therefore, these two powers emerged as the superpowers. But these two powers have a very sharp difference. इनके बीच में बहुत खतरनाक किस्म का इख्तिलाफ था. वो इख्तिलाफ इनके आइडियोलॉजीज डिफरेंट होने की वजह से था. So they have different ideologies, and because of their different ideologies, they could not see to each other. एक दूसरे को आंख न बांधे थे. So they were against each other. One was US, second was SU. The ideology in US was capitalism. They like private property. And in Soviet Union, it was favoring socialism, which means everything belonged to state. कोई private property नहीं है. हर एक चीज़ state के पास है और state ने ही वो लोगों को देनी है. तो यहाँ पे मुश्तरका property है. US में individual property है. और ये जो दो निज़ाम ही एक दूसरे के opposite हैं. क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली जो सोशलिज्म है वो चाहता है कि वो पूरी दुनिया को इनगल्फ कर ले, पूरी दुनिया पे फैल जाए, और इसी तरह सारी प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी ख़त्म हो जाए, जो कि यूएस नहीं चाहता. सो बिकॉज ऑफ देयर डिफरेंट आइडियोलॉजीज, these two states were in a state of war. Although not actual war, but there was a cold war. एक सर्द जंग जिसमें वो सामने लड़ तो नहीं रहे, लेकिन एक दूसरे के खिलाफ बहुत सारा प्रोपेगेंडा कर रहे हैं. And they are trying to weaken the power of other, and they are fighting secretly against each other. So this bipolar world saw the day after World War II. Before World War II, the world was multipolar. Multipolar से क्या मुराद है? Again, multi means many. So this means many powers. From 1648 to 1945, there were many powers. And the powers were basically in Europe. So many European states were powerful and no one claimed to be the superpower. But after World War II, there was two superpowers that emerged from the World War II. ये जो डेट है 1648 काफ़ी इम्पॉर्टेंट डेट है, आप इसको अपने जहन में रख लें. We will be discussing this very frequently in international relations. You can see the bipolar world in that map. So you have US on one side and you have the Soviet Union bloc on the other side. The countries that support US forms the Western bloc, and the countries that think similar to Soviet Union or they have political system which is similar to Soviet Union, they form the Eastern bloc. So one is the Western bloc or the capitalistic bloc, and the second is the Eastern bloc or the socialist bloc. And these were in a state of constant tension and conflict. Another phenomena that occurred after World War II is armaments and the nuclear proliferation. What are these terms? By armament, we mean the race for obtaining arms. असलहा हासिल करने की जो जस्तजू है और जो रेस है उससे आर्ममेंट कहेंगे. So because many states got independence after World War II, they were trying to get weapons. They were trying to get arms. So there were different types of factories being established, not only in the country themselves, but they were also exporting weapons from the other countries. So there was a race from the arms, a race for weapons. तो असलहे की इस दौड़ में दुनिया में असलहा के अंबार लगते गए. और जाहिर बात है ये जो फेनोमिना हो रहा है, ये जो इंटरनेशनल इवेंट हो रहा है, इसकी वजह से आईआर का स्कोप चेंज हो रहा है. आईआर इसको भी डील कर रहा है और वो ये भी चाह रहा है कि जो असला है ये ज़्यादा ना बढ़िया, तो वो इसके साथ डील करने की कोशिश कर रहा है. इंटरनेशनल कंट्रीज आर डीलिंग विद डिक्रीजिंग दैट रेस or slowing down that race, and therefore it is resulting in increasing the scope of IR. और उससे खतरनाक न्यूक्लियर प्रोलिफरेशन है. प्रोलिफरेशन से मुराद ग्रोथ है. जब कोई स्टेट अपनी न्यूक्लियर पावर को बढ़ाता है और न्यूक्लियर पावर हासिल करने के लिए इट एस्टेब्लिश्ड न्यूक्लियर पावर प्लांट्स and it go for nuclear test, remember the world would be very dangerous if all the countries start getting nuclear weapons. इसीलिए ज़रूरी है कि जो स्टेट्स हैं उनको न्यूक्लियर पावर हासिल करने से बचाया जाए, उनको रोका जाए, क्योंकि न्यूक्लियर वेपन्स आर वेरी डेडली, बहुत ख़तरनाक है, जानलेवा है. हाउ टू प्रिवेंट other countries from not getting nuclear weapons? And the answer is that you should having international pacts, you should have international treaties which emphasize on stopping nuclear growth. So these proliferation, the nuclear expansion and the effort to stop nuclear expansion further increased the scope of IR. You can see the nuclear explosion in one image, and in the second image there is a very good saying. I like it very much. It say drop bombs and carry arms. मतलब है कि गिराना भी खतरनाक और ले जाना भी खतरनाक. बॉम्ब्स को गिराएं और हथियार ले जाएं. एक को गिराना खतरनाक है, दूसरे को ले जाना खतरनाक है. सो इट्स वेरी सरकास्टिक, बहुत ही तंज़िया जुमला है, बट दैट्स द रियलिटी. दैट इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन द वर्ल्ड एंड वी शुड स्टॉप इट. द स्टडी ऑफ इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस एम्स टू स्टॉप such kind of events. So the rise of democratic governments and the rising expectations of people resulted in increasing the scope of IR. अब लोग बच्चे नहीं रहे, अब लोगों की डिमांड्स ज़्यादा हो गई हैं, उनको गवर्नमेंट से ज़्यादा फैसिलिटीज़ चाहिए, उनकी नीड्स बढ़ गई हैं. वो गवर्नमेंट से ज़्यादा डिमांडिंग हैं और इसलिए गवर्नमेंट उनकी नीड्स को पूरा करने के लिए बाकी रियासतों के साथ मजबूर है कि ताल्लुक़ रखे और वहाँ से नीड्स को किसी तरीके से पूरा कर सकें. सो दीज ग्रोइंग डिमांड्स ऑफ द पीपल एंड अलॉन्ग विद इट द कंसेप्ट ऑफ वेलफेयर स्टेट कि एक स्टेट अपनी अवाम को सारी फैसिलिटीज़ प्रोवाइड करें ताकि लोग खुशहाल ज़िंदगी बसर कर सकें. इसकी वजह से जो ज़्यादा इंटरेक्शन हो रही है ऑन द इंटरनेशनल लेवल, तो अल्टीमेटली इट इज़ रिजल्टिंग इन इंक्रीजिंग द स्कोप ऑफ IR. So the scope of IR is continuously increasing. As you can see, the power of the people, and therefore the people demand more. And the government has to now talk more to the other states. It has to negotiate with other governments on very diverse level. As you can see that now the people say, we are not living to work. We work to live. तो लिहाजा उनको और भी नीड्स चाहिए, उनको और भी फैसिलिटीज चाहिए जिसकी वो गवर्नमेंट से डिमांड कर रहे हैं. कंक्लूजन में वी सॉ दैट द स्कोप ऑफ IR हैज वाइडेंड, इट हैज ब्रॉडेंड. स्कोप काफ़ी वसी हुआ. पहले मुख्तसर था. इट स्टार्टेड विद डिप्लोमेटिक एक्टिविटीज़, it started with diplomatic affairs, then the study of international law was included, then with the growth and the establishment of international organizations like League of Nations, like United Nations, like NATO, like Warsaw Pact, CETO, SANTO, OIC, Arab League, SARC, all these and many organizations, as they keep on coming, they increase the scope of IR. And with that, international politics, because the states were trying to gain power, then the scope of IR also included foreign policies and different types of interactions which include economic and financial matters, geographical, ideological, and even military thoughts and strategic studies were included in the scope of IR. Because the army dealt with other states. The army tries to know about other states and their powers and their army, and therefore the states also have to negotiate on that level as well. तो इस strategic studies की वजह से भी IR का scope बढ़ता गया. अब हम देख रहे हैं कि IR का scope मुसलसल बढ़ रहा है. It is growing as a subject. IR is a growing discipline, but still there are many weaknesses. वो जो weaknesses हैं, वो जो कमजोरियां हैं इस सब्जेक्ट में, वो कौन सी हैं? Number 1, it lacks systematic body of organized theories and principles. इसके पास अपनी नजरियात नहीं हैं, इनके पास अपने प्रिंसिपल्स नहीं हैं, क्योंकि ये अभी एक नया सब्जेक्ट है. ये अभी अभी इसकी ग्रोथ हो रही है, ये अभी भी सीख रहा है, इसीलिए इसकी अपनी थ्योरीज नहीं है और इसी वजह से इसका सब्जेक्ट मैटर की यूनिकनेस नहीं है. इट डजंट हैव द यूनिटी ऑफ सब्जेक्ट मैटर और ये बाकी सब्जेक्ट्स पे ज़्यादा इन्हिसार करता है. अपने थ्योरीज को ये नहीं बना रहा, बल्कि ये बाकी सब्जेक्ट से थ्योरीज ले रहा है, बाकी सब्जेक्ट से हेल्प ले रहा है. डिफरेंट फेनोमेना को, डिफरेंट इवेंट्स को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए इसके पास अपनी थ्योरीज नहीं है. जो भी इंटरनेशनल इवेंट्स होते हैं, जो भी फेनोमेना हो रहे हैं, उनको अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए IR बाकी सब्जेक्ट से हेल्प लेता है और उनके थ्योरीज, प्रिंसिपल्स और लॉस को यूज करता है. आखिर वो कौन से सब्जेक्ट्स हैं जिनसे ये हेल्प लेता है? उसमें फिलॉसफी है, लॉ, हिस्ट्री, पॉलिटिकल साइंस, साइकोलॉजी और इस तरह बहुत से सब्जेक्ट्स हैं जिनसे IR हेल्प लेता है, क्योंकि इसकी अपनी थ्योरीज अभी इतनी ज़्यादा डेवलप नहीं हुई हैं. ये सीख रहा है, ये ग्रो कर रहा है और इसकी थ्योरीज वक्त के साथ साथ आते रहेंगी. इसके अलावा IR lacks objectivity, which means it has a subjective nature. ये accurate prediction नहीं कर सकता, ये सही पेशेंट गोई नहीं कर सकता कि किसी इवेंट का आखिर में क्या असर होगा, उसके नताइज क्या होंगे। ये नताइज अखज़ करने में यहाँ पे कोई ऑब्जेक्टिविटी नहीं है। वो जो पेशेंट गोई है, जो फोरकास्टिंग है, वो गलत भी हो सकती है, वो सही भी हो सकती है, जिसकी मेन वजह ये है कि IR डील्स विद मैन एंड IR डील्स विद सॉवरेन स्टेट्स, इट डील्स विद इंडिपेंडेंट स्टेट्स, और इनके बिहेवियर को जानना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है। इसलिए IR सही तरीके से पेशेंट गोई नहीं कर सकता। इवन जो IR के एक्सपर्ट्स हैं, जो एनालिस्ट हैं, वो भी जब कोई तज्जिया करते हैं, so they have a difference of opinion. One would be having one view, the second would be having another view, and they would be having a very large difference, and they would come with different results and different effects. So this means that the objectivity hasn't been developed in IR. But despite all these weaknesses, इन तमाम कमजोरियों के बावजूद IR ग्रो तो कर रहा है। So it is a growing subject, and it is growing with its sum of distinctive theories. अपनी इसने कुछ distinctive, कुछ अलग theories ये अपने लिए बना रहा है। अगर जनरल नहीं बनाई तो अपनी कुछ डेवलप कर रहा है, and it has a distinctive subject matter, and therefore may be regarded as a discipline. This discipline that provides a systematic approach for solving problems of international life. And with this, we end up the scope of international relations.